Arm the photon torpedoes. Let's see if we can slow them down.
Torpedoes armed. Fire.
The 10th anniversary update is here for Space Engineers, and wow, that makes me feel really old. The developers have added some cool new stuff for us to check out in this update, but first, when did you guys first discover Space Engineers? I remember over 9 years ago when the Yogscast did a series playing it on their YouTube channel, and I thought, man, the perfect game finally exists. Let me know your first memories of the game in the comment section below the video, and now, without further ado, let's have a look at this update. The first new block is this statue here, which commemorates the game hitting its 10-year anniversary. It features 2 bronze waving engineers and a little plaque at the bottom commemorating the event. Whilst this statue obviously has a very specific purpose, it feels, I don't know how to describe this, very Starfleet, I guess? And I think you could use this in a lot of places to detail your builds. Imagine it like some sort of monument to exploration on a newly colonized planet or something like that. I will need to do some messing around with this block, as the last time the developers added a humanoid shaped block to Space Engineers, the block had some interesting exploits, let's say, and you could use these blocks to build invulnerable force fields. If you want to see that force field exploit in action, you can check out this video here, and I'll definitely be doing some experimenting with this statue in the future to see if it also has some interesting properties like this. And if it does, I'll be sure to make a video on it, so like this video and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see that. Before we get to the more explosive part of the update, let's first take a look at some of the new engineer skins we can now use. All players will now have access to the colorable tuxedo skin, which you can see here, so you can all celebrate in style. As you can see, the suit is like a tuxedo, and the whole thing is colorable, except for the helmet, which has this bronze reflective glass on it, which does look pretty cool, I won't lie. Don't forget you can mix and match parts from different skins, so if you like this helmet with bronze glass, but not necessarily the tuxedo part of the skin, you can just use that helmet with a different skin entirely. There's a limited time pack you can purchase that includes 3 additional skins for you to use. The veteran skin was previously awarded to long-time players of the game, so whilst I personally already have one, if you're a newer player to the game, this is your chance to get it. The party tuxedo is amazing. You get this cool disco ball / rainbow helmet, an RGB belt, and a backpack covered in planets. It's just great, and it would probably be the best skin in Space Engineers if this pack also didn't include the return of the ghost skin, which is, in my opinion, hands down the best skin in the game. I've been on a quest to acquire every single skin in Space Engineers, and this skin was only available once on Halloween of 2017, which is now 6 years ago, and with the release for this pack, I finally have it. This is the only skin in the game that glows. You can change the color of it to whatever you want, and the glow changes with it. And as far as I'm aware, this is the only skin in the game that changes the face of the engineer behind the helmet, having this ghostly undead face behind the visor. Remember, this pack is only available for a short amount of time, so if you want any of these skins, you need to make sure you purchase this pack before you miss out. Anyway, that's enough for skins. I think it's time for some fireworks. The flare gun is one of 2 new weapons added in this update. As you can imagine, it shoots flares, which work exactly, well, mostly exactly, as you would expect them to. You fire them out, and they shine as a big red light and leave a trail of smoke behind them. And most importantly, you can finally live out your dream of being the USS Enterprise and firing photon torpedoes. As you would expect, the flare is affected by gravity more than normal projectiles in the game, quickly falling to the ground once you fire them. I do have one slight issue with them, and that is that they very quickly expire once they hit the ground. I don't know if this is necessarily realistic, but I would expect the flare to stay alight on the ground for a little bit after it fires. But I don't know if that's possible within the engine, or they don't do it for performance reasons, perhaps. Either way, I think this would be a cool feature for them to add to the game, or if possible, maybe someone could mod it in instead. As I'm sure you're all wondering, yes, they do damage blocks, just not by a lot. And it takes quite a few shots to destroy small grid blocks, so it's not very useful against ships. Players, however, as always, I've got my good buddy Striker here, who has very kindly volunteered to be shot by the flare gun. So, Striker, if you just stand there... Oh, it's cute that you think you have a choice. 2, 1, go. Oh my god, Striker? Which, if your mind is anything like mine, you probably immediately thought of picking up a warhead and then seeing if your friend can catch it. Give me a sec, and we're there. Oh, yeah, so for whatever reason, the flare gun one-shots, and I don't know why. I presume it's a bug. It's more powerful than like every other weapon in the game. It's so stupid. So the flare gun is just the new best weapon in the game. I mean, it only has 4 shots, but the ammo is really cheap. And the flare gun itself is really cheap. So, like, I really hope they don't nerf this because it's so funny. But at the same time, it's too good. It's too broken. But this isn't the only thing they've added that's not supposed to be a weapon, but most definitely is a weapon. Fireworks could have been boring emissives that go up into the sky and go boom. But this is Space Engineers, and don't tell anyone, but fireworks are secretly multicolored rockets in disguise. There's 2 firework launchers, one for small grid and one for large grid, and there's 6 different colors of fireworks you can load into them. Red, blue, green, yellow, pink, and rainbow. A full Power Rangers team. The launchers have to be manually loaded as they don't have a conveyor port, but that's fine because that lets you easily choose what colour you want in them as you have to physically put it in them. But, as I said, these aren't just fireworks. I'm pretty sure these do exactly the same damage as flares, which means they don't do a lot of damage to large blocks. As you can see here, this large block has only taken 1% damage, and whilst they can destroy small blocks, it takes quite a few of them to do it. However, one thing they do is a large amount of knockback when they do hit ships. So, as you can see here, they're doing a large amount of knockback to this small grid ship, and large grid ships also take a lot of knockback as well. I don't necessarily know how useful this will be at this time, but firework ammo is very cheap to craft, and it does a lot of knockback for how cheap it is. And like the flares, fireworks also insta-kill players, so I'm definitely going to have lots of fun with that in the future. Keen, please don't ruin my fun. I should point out that the firework launcher isn't very accurate, as it fires out all the little holes on top, so they kind of fire off in like random directions, but I feel like that's kind of the fun of it. It's like a scatter shot shotgun. There is one thing I want to test quickly, which has just come into my mind, and that's, as fireworks are technically missiles, do turrets shoot them down? So I've set this turret here to only shoot missiles, and over here I've spawned in a hostile Apollo with a firework launcher on the front. So if I toggle on the firework launcher, let's see what happens. It doesn't appear that the turret is interested in shooting down the fireworks, so let's move Apollo closer just to double check. It seems completely uninterested. So whilst they are missiles, they're also not missiles at the same time. This is obviously a smaller update than we normally get, but this is an update just to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Space Engineers, and we also know that there's an exploration update and a survival update coming in the future, so hopefully we'll get to see more of that soon. However, the flare gun and the firework launcher are amazing, and I hope you love them as much as I do. Speaking of loving things, don't forget to like this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with future Space Engineers updates. Oh, and if you didn't get the joke, I'm wearing the ghost skin because I've returned from the grave after not uploading for a while. Expect more videos soon.